let's play this clip of Jimmy Dore. He went on Tucker Carlson's show. Now, this is not, I just want to be clear. This is not the clip of Greenwald going on Tucker Carlson or Greenwald going on Jimmy Dore. This is Jimmy Dore going on Tucker. Like this whole like sort of circle jerk that has been created with this sort of like corner of the internet and Fox. It's very similar to what we used to see with, Shapiro, that bald guy from the Daily Wire. I can't remember his name. And the IDW folk and the other guy who's the actor who's not that who's demo real. What's that guy's name? The on Daily Wire.
Yeah.
I can't.
Matt Walsh.
No.
Knowles. Michael Knowles.
Mike Knowles. Right. Like these, like this is what they do. This is a very explicit strategy. And that is we're going to continue to go on each other's shows and and basically we're self-dealing on some level. It hits.
Well, Tucker's not going on Jimmy's show.
Well, Tucker's not going on Jimmy's show, but Tucker ultimately may go on one of these shows. But yes,
well, it's Jimmy goes on, bolsters Tucker's anti-AOC in this case is talking points, and he gets attention. And he doesn't challenge him.
It's more than that. What happens like when all of these guys start doing each other's shows and reinforcing and rush in when there's a Twitter effect, what it does is starts to close a sealed hermetic bubble where they are not subject to any type of criticism. Whenever we give criticism to, let's say Greenwald, it becomes like I'm a little hunchback, snivelly little guy who's, whatever, banal or whatever.
The most hunchback,
whatever.
Because
the most hunchback, banal.
All of Greenwald's attacks are hyperbolic.
There's no, and they seem personal. There's no air that gets into that bubble, right? Like you saw the way that Jimmy cut up that video of, the filmmaker who came on, and we only saw it. In fact, he wasn't even going to release it. And it was only because the filmmaker himself shot a video of the interview. And that's somebody who was a fan of Jimmy's, who was like, supportive of Jimmy. And so they protect themselves from any type of criticism. But they elevate themselves by going on each other's shows. We saw that on the right, and we're seeing it now in whatever these guys call themselves here.
Jimmy's effort to make the Red-Brown Alliance an actual thing.
Yeah, I mean, this notion of anti-establishmentarianism. Like, I mean, if we had a socialist government, would they still be anti-establishment? Like, I mean, this is really, there really is the question, right? Like, maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. I just like that is not necessarily an ideology, right? Like, you can learn that just watching.
Yeah, roping Tucker in is different. Tucker is like cloaks himself in anti-establishment rhetoric,
well, of course,
in order to push far right white supremacist agenda, and Jimmy enables it. Yeah.
The idea that Tucker Carlson, who attended a private school, attended a private college, who is an heir to a millionaire, if not billionaire fortune, works for billionaires and is himself a multi-millionaire. The idea that he's part of the establishment, give me a break. Of course he's not. This is not part of the elite. Tucker Carlson's just out there on his own with virtually no support except for that massive network behind him. But here is Tucker and Jimmy Dore, and they are talking about, there was somebody who had tweeted something about AOC. And then they quickly said that they had gotten approached by, or they got like a knock on their door from somebody from the California Highway Patrol. And it's unclear how confirmed it is about the post that they said it was about AOC, but it was a fairly tame post criticizing AOC for, sort of being a little bit dodgy and on her response to a question that was, about Israel and Palestine. Her response wasn't great by any stretch of the means. And this person tweet was just like this is a dubious response by AOC. That was about it. And this person claims that it was that tweet. I don't know that we have confirmation that it was about that tweet. We do have confirmation that came from Ryan Grimm that somebody from the California Highway Patrol had come and visit this person. And then the question was like, who called the Highway Patrol? So the question was it the Capitol Police? And if so, who called the Capitol Police? And Ryan Grimm called AOC's office. They said, we did not call the Capitol Police. Ultimately, he reached the Capitol Police. The Capitol Police said they did not call us, but we're not giving you any more information. And it's sort of unclear now where it is, who called the California Highway Patrol and exactly what they were responding to, what tweet they were responding to. So we got to take it, the faith of the person who got called that it was about this tweet or it had to do with AOC. But we don't know who tipped them off here. But the desperation to use this as an attack on AOC is palpable. Look, just like when the DHS went to we had him on, I can't remember his name now, Feral Jokes on Twitter. Do you guys remember his name? I can't remember.
Nick Flores.
Nick Flores. Yeah, when Flores was on, when DHS went, I mean, this is wrong, and they need to get to the bottom of this. We need to figure out why. But the idea that even after AOC and the Capitol Police have confirmed that it was not a function of her, why is this still a story about AOC and not about the Highway Patrol? Well, because there is an agenda that folks like Jimmy have.
And Tucker, for that matter.
Of course.
Speaking for myself, I'll be honest, I love seeing it. I like it when young people come up and seem to believe in something and win. I mean, I don't agree with her, but I like
pause
that.
it. He's talking about how he loves that, the first part of the segment, which we're not playing, Tucker is saying how he loves that AOC came up believing in something. He doesn't agree with it, but he loves that she had a youthful energy behind her. Was that in keeping with his commentary at the time? I'm not sure. Maybe we could roll the tape, but continue.
Well, he has to be just as disappointed in her as his guest.
As Jimmy, right. Well, they're two peas in a pod these days.
I like it when young people come up and seem to believe in something and win. I mean, I don't agree with her, but I like that. And then she immediately winds up on the side of the biggest and most powerful companies in the world.
Oh, yes.
Like, this is like the end of Animal
Tell
Farm.
it to
It didn't
Amazon.
take long for her to switch sides, did it?
It's happening right in front of our faces, and there's people who don't want to see what's happening. And I've been the one out in front on the left telling people what's happening, that the Democratic, you don't change the Democratic Party, Tucker, the Democratic Party changes you. And so that's what we're witnessing. And so for her to say that I was committing violence by using words to criticize her, I don't know if you've ever been hit with an adjective.
Did she say that?
I'll take that over a bat or something. But, I don't know if I got hit in the head with a noun the other day. I had to go through the concussion protocol. I'd rather be hit with words.
Pause it.
So
is he saying that words cannot constitute violence? First off, let's be clear on what he did here. He started yelling that she's an effing sellout. She has betrayed you. She is an effing fraud. Yelling this. If I say that Jimmy Dore is an effing fraud, and I start saying like, this guy is betraying you, that he's sitting there in his luxury home and he's betraying you and he's just doing it for cash, and that starts to inspire people to threaten Jimmy Dore. Is what I'm doing just like not inciting violence at all? It's absurd. Why don't they roll the clip of what Jimmy said on that show? You know why they don't? Because they can't. They can't. They'd have to block it out. They'd have to beep it.
Yeah. Did AOC ever
run the clip that Jimmy Dore is referencing there? They would never run that clip.
Did AOC ever? Well, one, because it would make him look like the unhinged lunatic that he is. But also, did AOC ever acknowledge Jimmy? Like, what is
We
he
didn't say it was Jimmy
extrapolating that?
specifically.
She
said,
didn't.
no, of course not. But I mean,
No, but yeah,
Jimmy's
okay.
incapable of not perceiving,
But making it
centering
about himself. So
of
he
course.
gets to so he gets to cosplay as aggrieved and as the person who's being targeted by Ocasio-Cortez, even though she never addressed him specifically. I mean, why would she stoop to acknowledging that? So it's like, I don't know if there's more to that, but
Let's play more of this clip.
Yeah.
The other day, I had to go through the concussion protocol. I'd rather be hit with words than actual violence. Okay, because you know what's going on is that the working people in this country are on a ledge right now, and the establishment doesn't care if they fall over. And so they're using crude forms of censorship. We've seen it. We see what they wouldn't allow the Hunter Biden story to get out. And so there's and way worse things are happening. So. This is a chilling time right now for people like me. It's chilling when the powerful want to insulate themselves from criticism. AOC said that if you criticize Joe Biden and his administration, what message does that send to black and brown people? Well, the message I think that sends is that we're willing to stand up for black and brown people, even during a Democratic administration that is letting them down, gaslighting them, and not giving them COVID relief. That's what that means. She thinks what she's doing is using identity politics to shield them from real criticism.
Pause it. Okay, or I don't know.
Exactly right. And
okay, it's exactly right. You can keep going. I don't know.
Keep going. Oh, I just love. I would love to know Tucker's inner monologue here. Oh, this is perfect.
Oh, that's exactly what I need.
So good.
That's exactly right. And I should point out to our viewers who may not understand this, that you make your living on these big platforms, on YouTube, for example, and for you to come out and say what you've said about them takes a lot of courage, I think, and I'm impressed that you're willing to do that. Too few are. Jimmy Dore, thank you.
Jimmy Dore, thank you.
This dude, when the story about radicalization that takes place on YouTube came out, right? I mean, you remember that story and it was about that guy Caleb Kane was the subject of it. That story came out about how the algorithms took him down this portal and it turned him right wing. Jimmy Dore was out there defending YouTube so dramatically, when of course any idiot could see, like, of course, YouTube is incredibly destructive, without a doubt, 100%. I'm on YouTube right now. Incredibly destructive. I just said, I advocate constantly, get rid of the algorithm, which is their fundamental mechanism in which to make money.
So brave.
I'm so brave. I'm so brave. Oh God, I'm so brave. I should go on TV and brag about how
Tucker
brave
should
I am.
invite you. Tucker should invite you, Sam, for being so
break.
goddamn brave. And
Give me
then
a break.
notice when he talks about the establishment, by the way, just like so lazy. It's like he doesn't even have his talking points down. It's just retreading it from 2014 or 2000, whatever. Like that, like he picks the Hunter Biden story.
Completely.
He could have used that opportunity to talk to Tucker's audience about Medicare for all. Look at how many countries don't provide health care for their citizens, and this is how the establishment's screwing you. Or college education accessibility, free college for all. The fact that we have corruption in our government. The fact that we should be raising the minimum wage from a starvation wage to a living one. He didn't do any of that. He decided to pull out of his ass Hunter Biden, and that's how you know that Jimmy is adjusting, and well, this is who he's becoming now, but his exact talking points in order to appeal to Tucker Carlson, because he wants those sweet appearances.
Exactly.
Now who's the one who's selling out?
Exactly. And remember, now Jimmy grew up in a blue collar household, just like Ken Langone. And just like Ken Langone, he's not a worker anymore. He's not blue collar. And despite the fact that he is a champion for the working man, and he is a champion, of course, for black and brown people in a way that AOC could never be, because Jimmy has been for years making money on YouTube and helping black and brown people in that way every single day of the year. I mean, give me a break. The game is so obvious now, and Emma just like nailed it. you know, like it's one thing to go on that show and and argue with Tucker Carlson, or to make some type of like argument that I'm secretly dropping in left-wing perspective on that show. But I'm sorry, that's not happening. That's not happening.